of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson. Oh, she's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeanne Robertson and I'm in one of my favorite places in the world. I am at home in Alamance County, North Carolina, on my back porch. We need to discuss that because several of you have said you don't believe it's a back porch, that it's one of those green screen rooms that we've talked about. But it is. Look, I can prove it because here are things on the table. If I could reach further, I could get to the flowers. Here's a plant. We're definitely on the back porch. And of course, this is an American flag that a teenager carved, and I like that. And I just moved it all around the house and to the porch. So let me tell you what I've been doing this week, and y'all can see if you can top that. So last week was just great. And we had Kelly Cochran Swanson here from High Point, North Carolina, and she's a storyteller. And she tells great stories from the mythical, yet I say recognizable small town of Pride's Hollow. And she does a lot of other different things too. And so she just was a load of fun, Kelly. And thanks for coming over. Next week on the back porch, we have Tim Gard, who I practically can't say his name without smiling. How about you, Patrick? He
makes me laugh.
He makes us all laugh. And he and his wife, Sophia, will be flying in on Thursday, a day early. We've never had anybody that came in on Thursday, and getting ready for the show next Saturday. But today, it's the home team. And the home team, of course, is I, Jeanne Robertson. It is Patrick Henry on all the technical stuff, as well as you brought your guitar, I hope. Good. And way back there, if you can pick her up, is Toni Meredith, who has now started her 43rd year of running my business. And I remember that when we started, Toni said, well, now I'll never talk. I'll just sit on the back of the porch and I'll be there every Saturday. And now how many has it been, y'all? 65, 66, until the COVID is over, we said. So, Toni, can you switch? Do you got any? Hello back there.
I'm here.
Shy.
I'm here.
You're
I'm
no
here.
longer shy about talking.
No, I actually wasn't ever, but
Okay.
why would I talk when we have you to talk?
Well, thank you very much. and you got your computer set up. And this is the 1st of June. Can you give us a quick update on the shows and what's happening with everything?
There's lots and lots of shows on sale right now. Jeannie's going to be all over this country, and I hope it'll be close enough to everybody to go somewhere.
Okay.
And
JeanneRobertson.com.
Yeah, JeanneRobertson.com will get you to open to the public is the link, and you look at that list and it tells you then link from each show to their ticket service. Be sure you do it that way, but you don't want you stumbling into some resellers or scalpers, as we call them, that are selling tickets way too expensive and not refundable and all that good stuff. So stick with the theaters for buying your tickets. The theaters are in charge of their tickets, not us. But anyway, there's about 33 or so on sale right now, another 25 to be on sale in the next few weeks. So just keep up with it. We'll keep the list up to date, and you'll may get emails. If you're signed up for early access, you'll be getting emails about when those tickets go on sale. So I hope everybody can come to a show, and we're hoping they all have meet and greets, and Jeanne will get to do the picture taking thing and the standing in the lobby and talking to everybody like she likes to do.
Okay. Thanks, Toni. I appreciate it. Oh, look at that picture. Toni shows how clean I keep that thing on the porch.
I didn't look behind me.
Oh, it looks terrible. Somebody needs to clean that up.
I didn't check what was behind me.
So we've got lots on tap. Let me start off with a couple of things. About 10 minutes before 12 here, we had a doorbell ring, and my guest star over here on this other chair are donuts from Paul's Bakery here in Burlington. They were sent by Linda Harris out in Oklahoma. Linda, you're just fattening us up.
You're killing me, Linda. You're killing me.
Us with these.
There's I can resist a lot of things, but not Paul's Donuts. So.
No. So there they are. And I just hope that this time, and Linda, we do appreciate it, but you don't feel like you need to send us food for this show all the time. But I remember a couple of shows ago, I flipped that box open when the show was up. There were plenty of donuts left in there. Most of them were in halves and had been bitten out of by the people in the house.
Well, sometimes you just want to taste them all.
I have never bitten a donut, and I've licked a few.
Oh, that's just that's just great. And I wanted to tell you that a couple of weeks ago, we got this collection of, would you say, well, they're homemade, I think. I'm not sure. And they came from, I want to make sure I get it right, Glenda J. Rensi,
Rensi,
Rensi, in Murrayville, Georgia. You sound
Murrayville,
like I do, I bet. And at first, we just thought it was a nativity scene. You got an angel, and you got such exciting things. And then we looked upon second look, and we see that this one right here is a Santa Claus, and it could be an ornament, and it's to you, Patrick. And he is playing a guitar.
Well,
there you go.
I think that's wonderful. I really appreciate it.
Did you make
my wife, Leslie, as you know, you've met her. She loves Christmas ornaments, and so that's going to go really well on our tree. She particularly enjoys the Christopher Radko ornaments. They're very expensive. So when she says, we're going to decorate the Christmas tree, that means I sit there and watch. I'm not allowed to touch her.
Of course you're not.
But we're going to be putting that one right on the tree. That's very special. Thank you.
That's great. Santa Claus for sure. And when she started, do you pronounce those Christmas tree decorations Radskis?
Radko.
Did she start in high school?
Just about. She's been collecting them a long time. She has a lot of them.
Well, we have.
I don't have any.
So we have a story. We have an artificial tree, but we didn't always have an artificial tree. We always had a real tree. We made it a big deal about going and getting the Christmas tree until probably about 10 years ago. We had gotten the tree. It was decorated. Everything was great. And I went in the next day and I saw a couple of spiders on the ground. And I said, well, my goodness, there's some spiders on the ground. And then a little bit later, I saw some more. And I kind of gently peered in the tree. Oh, no. And there were hundreds of aphids running around on the limbs. If it was a movie, you would have heard it because, and they were just everywhere because that year they had aphids in North Carolina. And so they had gone dormant. Then when it got into the warm house, they all came out. That tree.
I've never seen a tree undecorated.
It was all screams, elbows, and Christopher Radko ornaments. And it was stripped clean outside, and within an hour we had an artificial tree decorated.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it's an interesting how traditions are supposed to stay the same, but as you get older, traditions change a little bit sometimes. Okay. And then this one right here, I think this is mine because Santa Claus has a sign that says "Keep smiling." Is that one for me?
I'd say that would be for you.
Okay. And then we have the baby Jesus. No, that's an angel. And not sure who's for. But anyway, looks like a bowling ball out there, a bowling ball and a bowling pin. Anyway, there's one more, and I'm going to show you because we just appreciate the fact that y'all tune in is one thing, and the fact that you say, well, look, I'm going to send this. Oh, this is real funny. This was right after Beaver was here, and a lot of you, I'm sure, were listening when he said I did not read to him as a child. And he would stand in the driveway when I was going to the airport saying, please read to me. Now, wasn't that tacky of him to say, I must have read to him once. And he has this grandmother with white hair sitting on a chair. This is great. And a little boy is in his lap. And she's reading to him. And I guess this one says, this one is for... is labeled reading to Beaver. I'm going to tell you what, y'all are sharp. Y'all are too sharp. And so we'll put some of these out and we'll put a few more things out there. I'll put that one right there. and we'll get started. We like to get started. Today is the day with no get. Well, I don't want the grandmother to just fall off the thing here. We like to, if we don't have a guest, we do more stuff at home and clear. I'm gonna put it right down here and clear the calendar of some different things and mention different people, and that's what we're going to do today. And of course, I like to try out some of my new stories on y'all too and see how they are going. But we start with giving away prizes because of that one time when I was speaking in Winston-Salem and I was in the stall in the ladies' restroom and two women came in and they said, one said, "Are you going to this banquet?" And she said, "Well, yeah, they're giving away a TV." And she said, "But there's a speaker and you have to stay till the end." She said, That's the only reason I would stay to the end and hear a speaker is to win a TV. So I realized people like to get to it and win a prize early. By the way, it's June. And because of that, all of the people eligible for prizes, why is this heavy? Oh, my book's in there. All of the people that are eligible for prizes are now have been taken out of the big bag because they were May's, the month of May's entries. And these are the June entries if you sent a question in for the show, and we've got them down here. And you have better odds of winning today in this left brain grocery bag because we just have had 1 week, and really with Memorial Day, it seems like a very quick week to y'all, I'm sure. And then we've got some questions down here also. To be fair, if I pull out somebody's name and I read their question down here in the yellow smiley bucket, that doesn't mean you've won a prize. You've got drawn for a question. But what we're going to do is start dropping it into the bag and shake them all up. So you do have a chance to win. Some people, if you pull out 10 or 15 questions one Saturday, that's a lot of books to give away. So we did it. We have been doing it that way, but we can change it. Now, let me give you before we draw the present. When Kelly and her husband, Bill, left last weekend, I knew that something in my body was wrong. I wasn't sure what it was, but it had been hurting. And what happened is it has been an interesting week. Look at all these people. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Okay. My leg was numb. My right leg was numb. So then by Saturday night, and left brain is sick and he's not able to help me right now. And I looked in and it was big. And by Sunday morning, it looked like the leg of a bison or something. I mean, this was huge. And of course, this Memorial Day weekend, worse by Monday, really bad. And I had a reaction to medicine or something. I won't go into all the details. But on Monday, Memorial Day, at the Alamance Regional Medical Center, you can call your doctor and he will meet you there. And he said, "Holy cow." Told me what was wrong, what we had to do. Toni, you went with me.
Yes. You seem to take me to the hospital on holidays a lot.
I do.
Yes. Remember your wrist? We had that surgery on New Year's Day. Christmas, you went and had it looked at, and then New Year's Day, you went back and had surgery on it.
I was attacked by a creature in my own house.
I will say it's easy to get in. It's not real crowded on holidays. I'd always park, and there's a skeleton staff, but they're there and they're helping just us because no one else was there.
I know.
We highly recommend going to the hospital on a holiday.
Yeah. Holidays seem to be a good day to go.
I don't remember what the other ailment was, my knee or what. But I was there on a Super Bowl.
But you
Sunday.
came back to the party, wasn't it?
I came back to the party, but it was a Super Bowl. I came to the Christmas dinner because why?
That's
not?
Right.
Once
I remember you made it for Christmas Eve dinner, I think.
I did.
Yeah.
I was not feeling well.
That was the wrist, I believe.
Okay.
But you're right. I can't keep them straight either.
I
Is that
know.
the one when
Knees,
you fell on our driveway?
femurs.
You owe me.
Yeah, that's right.
Lawsuit. I fell in because your lawsuit was your driveway's uneven and my ankle went like that.
Not anymore. I fixed that.
Okay, but let me continue my train of thought. I've told this, but it's been so long. I put it up. But the number one day that you can get in the hospital quicker is Super Bowl Sunday. And I said to the nurses, "Oh, that can't be Christmas Day." She said, "No, Super Bowl, nobody, whatever it is, they hold off until the outcome of the game is known or they've seen all the commercials or the halftime show. Then they come in here bloodied, from whatever reason." But that's enough about that. But then I've been to 3 more doctors this week. Is that correct? Now, if you are coming to the Shipshewana show in Shipshewana, Indiana, Wednesday night, I will be there. And I have a driver, and my driver has agreed to drive me all the way from here to Shipshewana.
I'm not real happy you're making me wear the hat. I wish you weren't making me wear that hat. But
I know.
Still,
Beaver can't
driving Miss Jeanne.
There's another driver, Keith. They swap off, but yes, driving Miss Jeanne all the way to Shipshewana. I'll see y'all. I'll be there. Okay, let's draw out the prizes. I'm gonna reach down in here, and this prize that I now hold in my right hand, this person wins your choice of all the swag that's on the table that I give away, from the hats to the book. And the only thing that's not eligible in here is the audio book version of me reading my own book that Patrick and I did. It's hilarious, but it's also 7 hours or something. So we give that in a draw in a little while. Okay, the first winner today is Carol, Karol, Palmer. And she said, "I paint the picture of whatever story it was, keeping us laughing." Carol Palmer, I do not know where you live, but there are not many people that spell their name like that, and you've won your choice. And you go to Toni, Toni, at JeanneRobertson.com and tell her which item you want, who you want it signed to. Father's Day is coming up if you want that hat signed to anybody in particular. But the winner is Carol Palmer. And now I'm going to reach in here, looking the other way. Might fall asleep. I'm on this sleepy time medicine. Patrick, if I just go over like that and don't get up.
I'll bring a pillow.
And don't you dare put that camera on my feet.
Oh, no. Okay.
Okay. All right. Here is the second winner. Kaye McDougal Knighton. Okay. And then he says, well, Knighton is Knightton. K Knighton, but in the middle is McDougal. And she brought up something on her comments when she's put this in, and that's this top fan thing. Because a lot of people that say, "How do you get to be a top fan?" And so finally I asked y'all, how do you get to be a top fan? And apparently, from many of your explanations, it's whoever really posts a lot, does a lot of things, makes a lot of comments. But apparently, it's not something that you achieve. It's something that they'll just take it away from you in the day. Is that right, Patrick? Do you know anything about that? Being a top fan?
Oh, I don't.
I think it's something Facebook does, and we don't have any control.
We have no control. That's the second prize, Kay. Choose what you want and tell me who you want me to sign to and all that kind of stuff. All right. Well, I'm looking at all these down here. Lansing, Michigan. I have a story with Lansing, Michigan. Can't even reach down in here. That's because it's the first week of June, and then there are not as many people. All right. Here we go. And this is Eileen Lima, Lima, from Lehi, Utah. You know Lehi, Utah?
I lived in Utah for a ski season back in when I was 19. I decided I needed to go find myself, and I found myself in Utah.
And so how long did you find yourself there?
Well, until the snow started melting.
Okay.
And I found myself back in college.
Okay. Was that when they let you back in?
I had to go to a different school.
Oh, okay. Good for you. So you are the third winner, Eileen Lima, Lima, like a bean. And then from Lehi, Utah, I'm going to put these three Oh, no, they've been drawn once today. They weren't questions, and put them over there. And now I'm going to ask a couple of questions. You don't win a prize with the question, but you get fame and fortune and all of that. All right, I'm going to look away and pull out a question.
Oh,
Question is what?
I started to say, oh my goodness, we're going to Las Vegas. Somebody just wrote it's 108 in Las Vegas today.
Oh no. I'm going to take my fat leg out there in July. And the reason that we're all going to Las Vegas is that the National Speakers Association, where we know so many our buddies and friends and have been active in it, is meeting in Las Vegas this year. They didn't really meet last year. It was all viral, right?
Virtual.
And that's like yesterday. I went to the doctor for veins and to see what was wrong in his leg. Veins and what's the next word?
Vascular.
Vascular. But I said, is this where Dr. So-and-so is at the veins and vasectomy?
No, right.
And they said, well, you're 50% correct.
That's right.
Okay. Here is a question from Sandy Landes, Landes. Oh, Toni, this is almost a slap at me. On Thursday nights, I do the pop-ups for just an invitation. And I mean, what else am I doing on Thursday nights during COVID? And I just get on and give away gifts and talk to y'all. And it's on my Facebook page. And I like for Patrick to be over here, but I finally got to the point where I said, I can do this by myself. Remember, you came at first, Toni, and there. She says that she is proud of me. There's no one there to prompt you with instructions. Yes, you've come a long way. Giving prizes away without Toni. And then turning the computer on and off. Congratulations. Thank you, Sandy Landis. I think I'm doing better too.
I particularly like how you stare at it so long till the comments start coming.
I don't know.
It's funny. You had a talking about veins and vasectomy.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a story my dad used to tell about the farmer who got the Viagra and the Veragro mixed up, and the eyes popped right off his potatoes.
Okay.
Bad
Are we
joke.
deteriorating today?
I'm sorry.
We are deteriorating. Oh, here's another question. Let's see who that was. I couldn't quite figure out the question, Sandy, but I appreciate the compliment. When she said, now you can turn it on and turn it off, I felt like she was a first grade teacher. Okay. Vicky, Vicki, Wolf, WOLFE Lawson. Question for Saturday. Did you get in the attic to clean? Did you run into a critter? I haven't cleaned my attic since we moved into the house in 1984. Aha! I win. We moved in this house in 76 and I've barely gone up, but I'll tell you what I did. It might be something that you can use. It was so bad that a few years ago, Patrick, do you remember when y'all did some remodeling and you had a dumpster?
Oh, yeah.
And he said to me one day, he said, our children are spoiled. We can come in from a fast food joint and they don't even come and put the papers in the garbage can. They just throw them into the dumpster because the dumpster was going to be there until you filled it up. And I said, a dumpster. So I got a dumpster from here locally where we live and the Elon connection actually. And then I called son Beaver and said, do you have a weekend coming up anytime that you might could come up here and help me with a few things? He envisioned moving a chair, moving in. And he said, yeah, Mom, what do you want me to do? And I told him to come. Get here on Friday late. I had him go in every attic, and we have added on so many times. There's attics in every room. I did not go up in the attic. If y'all remember from Beaver being here, he is not a tiny person.
Mm-mm.
No. 6'8", and he's losing. He's working on
Those little trap doors aren't made for guys.
No. He went up and down, sweating left brain, and I was standing here left brain and said, this is great that he's willing to come up here and do this. He wasn't willing. Then he saw golf clubs and he began to say, what are you going to do with these? And we threw that stuff in. And the man said when he brought it that we would never fill it up for a house. This was a dumpster for a huge commercial building.
Like a construction dumpster.
Right, a construction crew. Of course, we filled that thing up so fast. And then I came out and found Norma Rose slipping old paint cans at like 5 a.m. I thought somebody, like a bear, was out there. Everything else has been out there, so why wouldn't a bear? And she was putting her paint cans, because you could put paint cans in there on the bottom. And then that lady across the street said they were moving, and she said, we're pulling all of our cabinets out of the kitchen. Can we put them in here? I said, sure. Before long, the man came back and said, I didn't think you'd fill up that. And I said, yeah, we did. So Vicki Wolf Lawson, thanks for the questions. And I'm not going to go up in that attic too much by myself, because where do all the critters around here go on their day off? I'm not sure. And here's another question. Just having a good time. And I've got to get to my stories. I've got some on trial on y'all. See what you think. I know you love to hear your names. Jeannie Wigham Lee, Lee. Good morning, Jeannie. In one of your DVDs, you talked about y'all's beach house vacation place. Don't stop. Y'all don't have to laugh.
It's more of a
You
resort.
said it was a single wide trailer, which we call manufactured housing, mobile home. If you sold enough DVDs, you were going to buy a double wide. Did you get your double wide? Toni, did I get the double wide?
Yes.
Patrick, did I get the double
We
wide?
call it modular fun.
Modular fun. Okay, I did get the double wide. It has cathedral ceilings. It has three.
Three. It does.
When a
Quit
wall
laughing.
falls-
I know.
When a wall falls down, you got cathedral ceilings.
Yeah, 3 bedrooms,
3 bedrooms,
2 baths.
televisions everywhere, 2 bathrooms, dishwasher. Now you do have to put your trash out in a little bag at the end of the driveway.
Well,
You
that's
do that wherever you
doable.
go.
Well, that's true.
That's
true.
doable. You do that anywhere.
As a matter of fact, just me. Focus on me. Forget Patrick and Leslie. I mean, not Leslie, but Toni. For years, the Henrys would go at no charge to what has been labeled by speakers as Dumpity Dump Lane. This is our place at the wonderful Apache campground. And then all of a sudden, one year they said that would be enough. They were renting a place right on the water at some other beach. And y'all just, hello, now y'all can talk.
Well, we sold enough DVDs.
Oh, is that?
So we could afford to go somewhere else.
Okay.
Well, I happen to love the trailer. We had a great time. And my father-in-law is the one who said,
Tom.
I want a place with a pool so I can watch the kids swim and not have to go down to the beach.
Right. And he wants to be able to see the ocean without having to actually go out on the sand. So that's Tom's the one that wants to not be at the trailer. Because the trailer, you have to get in the golf cart and drive a block to the beach. Yeah.
Incidentally, he was willing to fork over the money.
It was free.
So,
It was a free, nice place. And it had a porch all the way around.
oh, it's not. It's
Is
nice.
it Cat Baines who's on here?
Yeah, I think they go there. Or live there. Yeah,
Okay, well, wait a minute.
they're familiar with it.
Here's another question, and this is from Marilyn Muller, Muller. I am downsizing. I'm downsizing everything I can possibly downsize. At 80 years, I really have no need for collection of anything, much less, I've detected a little animosity coming in here, Marilyn, much less 2,000 pieces of costume jewelry. Oh, Jane Tucker and I want to look at it.
That's right.
And from my sister's estate, 100 bottles of perfume bottles from my sister's estate, Jewel Tea Company dishware from my sister's estate. Evidently, your
Oh, I
sister-
remember the Jewel Tea Company. They came. I remember that.
I don't.
Oh, I do. I think they they came to you and showed you stuff and you bought it. It was weird. Never mind. Somebody will tell me what it is. I can't remember.
And then she goes on. So apparently her sister died. She won because she left you all this stuff to take care of. I collect a lot of things.
Where is she located?
Oh, I don't just have to see. I don't think. Don't let me fall out on this leg. Nope, I don't know where Marilyn is from because she does not say. These people, they don't usually tell. All right, let's talk about some new material here. So I've been going over all, as you know, I must have 20 or 30 of these tablets. And pardon me, those donuts, the chocolate in those donuts, now they're so good. Okay. One of the problems that we have in writing stories these days is politically correct and being politically correct. I've had 2 or 3 stories that I've worked on all spring, and then I'll run them by people, especially younger people, and they'll say, that's real funny, but you can't tell that. And I think, well, I'm not sure. But I remember I ran a story by y'all about Burma Davis Posey warming up the gum for the other contestant in the pageant. And I think it's hilarious. But a lot of you said, that's close to being gross. Well, there's 2 things. Let me make sure you understand. I started speaking in 1963, and I have been a banquet speaker and a association and then corporate speaker for all these years. In those situations, you have to make sure that you do what they expect you to do, including not offending their people. So I've always been aware with that, but I don't think much of my material is offensive anyway. But you do not want somebody going over to the meeting planner after it, like the boss, saying to her, did you know the speaker was going to get into politics? Did you know this speaker was going to do this or that? Because it could cost her a job or at least a reprimand. So it's trickier when you do a convention. I've always said I can do the same show on stage that I can do in a church. Either way, I'm going to tell the stories. But lately, it's really tricky. You know, you can't say freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior anymore. Did you know that, Toni?
Well, I do know that, yeah.
Well, Then why am I paying for a sophomore at NC State University?
And I'm paying for a senior.
For a 3rd year.
It's just so somebody sent. Y'all remember Jane Jenkins Erlaw?
Oh yeah.
And she was here one week and asked. We got a lot of good material, and she would ask me a question, I would ask. And she said that a friend of ours who speaks on diversity had just done a program for Carolina speakers and gave everybody 3 pages of words that we just could not say. Well, I'm assuming, knowing this professional speaker, they were not curse words. They were not bad words. They were just words you could no longer say. And I'll be 78 in September. And I understand it all. But I'm selling tickets to theater shows that people are coming, not representing a company, So sometimes, just sometimes, I say, to heck with it. I'm going to say what I want to say. Then I write a hilarious story, and they said, oh, that will offend people. So let's just go back here and look at some of the ones I'm currently working on, and some of the ones. I had a story because Jane Jenkins Erlaw said to me in that course of being interviewed, she said, she was Miss South Carolina, but it was about 20 years after I was, I think, maybe 17. Anyway, she said, did they have questions on stage when you were in the Miss America pageant? And I said, well, they did, but since I didn't get into the top 10 or top 5, I didn't have any questions at all. And she said, what about the state pageant? And I said, yeah, they did. And immediately after all the thinking I've done all these years, I said, oh my gosh, you won't believe what happened to me in my questions. And I told her what turned out to be an hilarious story. She was laughing. Her husband was laughing. Patrick and Toni were laughing. I was laughing so hard I couldn't even do it. But it was a true story. And I'll tell the story quickly, and then I'll tell you the problems that have come up. The questions back then, if you were in a pageant, just like you worked on your talent, which I didn't have much, you worked on every phase, and you, in case you were asked some questions in the judges interview or on stage, which you mean you were in the finals, you studied these questions. These questions floated around among contestants because they would usually say to the judges when they got there, can you write the questions for the girls that you want to hear them say? Okay. So the questions often have a sameness to them. And one of the questions they asked people often was, other than your father, what man do you most admire? And apparently everybody that asked that had been saying, oh, my father, my father. And because the feminist movement had started and we were more enlightened, they had also begun to ask in other local pageants, other than the women you know, other than your mother, what woman do you most admire? So I put together a question that I thought, I believe this. I believe to really admire somebody, you have to know them. They can be a president. They can be a leader of a country. They can be anything, and just the person, your principal in your school. But if you don't really know them, then how can you truly respect them? And so I thought, because it was definitely, it was the year Kennedy got shot. It was definitely right in there, a lot of feminist things going on. And I said, they may ask me about other than my mother. And we would study these lists, and you would talk it over with your chaperone. So she would say, what will you say if you're asked this? I call it getting ready. And if you didn't do that, I didn't think you were that serious about it. So I was ready. And I got in the top 5 at the Miss North Carolina pageant. And if you remember, and I'm sorry to repeat this story, I just want to tell you what's happened with it. They ask you, this is even funnier. They ask you a lighthearted question and a serious question. And so my serious question was, and I thought I was prepared for this, but I wasn't. Other than your father, what man do you most admire? Well, that was not the answer I had prepared. I had thought about, other than your mother, whom do you most prepared? And I had an answer. But I thought, I can do this. And in front of the state of North Carolina, I said exactly what I just told y'all. I said, looking into statewide television, waiting, hoping to be Miss North Carolina. And I said, well, to really admire somebody, you should know them. I gave them that whole thing. I had it down pat. And then I said that at Auburn, there was a blind student, a young man, and that I knew this student. And so I would have to say that he would be the person I would most admire. He tapped out all of his notes in Braille. He went to, the class every day. This is not a large program at that time for the blind. And I would say that because I know there's a reason to admire him, that would be what I would say. And everybody applauded. The only problem was there was no blind student at all.
There's probably one somewhere.
Well, probably somewhere. I was just on stage, 19 years old, lying through my teeth. and it was just embarrassing because they loved that answer. I mean, they went, wow. So 5 minutes later, I was Miss North Carolina. And when I told that to Jane Jenkins Hurlong, she's laughing, everybody's laughing. And I said, I have never even thought of that. I'm going to maybe tell that. Y'all think about that. And then when the show was over, Toni came up and said, "You told me that one night when we were going somewhere in a car. I thought you weren't going to ever tell that." I said, "Well, I wasn't planning to tell it, but the conversation just went that way." And then in today's society, she said, "Do they have a statue up of you in your town? You'll go there and get pulled down. They will take away your Miss North Carolina title. You watch. They'll be here next week to take away your Miss North Carolina title." And I said, "Well, at age 77, what would I do?" I said, "I would become Clint Eastwood. And if they wanted to take away the title from me at this point, I'm a humorist. I go around the country trying to make people laugh. I would tell them, go ahead, make my day." And I would let them take it and I'd make funny stories out of it. And she almost died. And so the question has become mighty quiet on this porch. Can I tell that story about a blind boy and a blind girl? See, let me tell you the truth. It wasn't an out and out lie. There was a blind girl at Auburn, a blind female student. I know because I was her suite mate. Her name was Ann. And my roommate, Sissy, and I had to agree. They called us in and said, "Would you room with this young woman? You share a bathroom with her room, and you have to be able to, oh gosh, this is terrible, not put your toothbrush in the wrong place." And she became good friends. And it was even funny because she could study sitting in her bed with a blanket over her like a teepee because she couldn't see anyway. And we would hear her. And if we said something funny, the blanket would go up and down and she was laughing. She had a great sense of humor. But when I think about it, maybe that's inappropriate to tell.
I think it's hilarious.
Would you get up on stage and tell it, Patrick?
Well, seeing that
Because
I've never been in a beauty pageant, but
I'm looking down here.
And Jeannie, there's a lot that I would tell that you would say was inappropriate.
Oh, just walking around with you, I can tell you that. Does anybody say yes? Susan Regal says yes. Tell the blind story. Absolutely. All right. How about with Toni saying, is there a statue up of you in your little town that could get pulled down? That's another whole thing.
Tell it.
Tell
it.
Y'all got to say, would that make you see? But I'm not representing a corporation. I'm representing Jeanne Robertson. So, and I can't find her. I wanted to tell it, Debbie Childers. It is funny. It might not be funny if it happened today. Well, that's true.
Well, you're telling it today.
That's why it's not as funny. If you do tell it, these are going fast. Patrick, are you moving these?
Yeah, I am.
Could you slow it down?
I'm sorry.
Okay. See, that's my problem, Debbie Childers. I just am not sure. I would tell the blind story. Yes, tell it. Yes, tell it. But see.
Just so y'all know, Jeannie has a monitor in front of her. She's not doubling over in pain.
Oh, yeah. Help, my leg's bloating up again. There's a monitor right there. And I can, Annalie Finch, tell it.
You left the punchline off the story.
Huh?
About the crown, wearing the crown.
Oh. I left off. So the last time we told it, when it was over, Patrick said, and this is how you get your material. He came up and said, "What I think you need to do is, all right, stop at the end of the story. When, go ahead, make my day." That's funny, but it's not a killer to say that. And so, of course, with a dirty Harry with a gun at your head, you probably can't use the word killer anymore. I'm going to use it. And so then I would look at the audience and say, I know there are people in here from North Carolina. And I did represent you. And I just want you to know that I don't live in that pageant world. I've gone on and done a lot of things that I wanted to do. And I can assure you, I have not had the Miss North Carolina crown on my head in 3 weeks. I think that's a good closer. Okay. I'm saying maybe not tell that story. You seem to feel guilty. Well, that's a good point. If someone gets offended, they don't have a sense of humor. Tell it. Gender is no longer a thing. So it should not matter. Wait, no. Okay. What happened? Jeannie is in a different chair with different backgrounds. This is going to be just something you have to think about.
Our furniture moves.
We have 2 chairs.
Yep.
And in behind this wall, this little tea room in here, we will sometime move the white chairs. Right, Patrick? When you get here, move the white chairs and put the blue and white chairs, the blue and whites in here. And it kind of depends on what's on this table back here as to what. So I'm in the same place, sort of. Okay, let me get one that maybe I haven't told y'all. So that I don't know what to do. But what I think, how about this? I think this is sneaky. I've got another story that's truly funny. And I know that y'all are going to question it. But at the NSA convention, when I'm speaking to professional speakers, why couldn't I? All right, Patrick and Toni, y'all go to these meetings all the time. Why couldn't I tell a little bit questionable story and say, I told that story as a reminder that in today's world, you might not be able to tell all the stories you want to, but I would have gotten away with telling it. What do you think?
I say whatever you do is going to be great.
Oh, well, that's that.
That's a safe answer, isn't it?
And what? That's a good, safe answer for you. Okay. Toni in the,
somebody had a great, Mary Lewis just had a great suggestion at the end when you say, I hadn't had that crown on in weeks, put the crown on your head.
Oh, I'd have to go to the Graham Museum and get it.
No, we can order one online.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good idea.
It's a lot easier than being in a pageant. Order it on Amazon.
How about when I leave the stage, sometime I put on the pashmina, sometime I put on this, sometime I put on that. Mary, is that her name? Mary Lewis?
Mary, I'm going to mispronounce this, Doramus Lewis.
And y'all, just a minute.
Oh, actually, Ruby Quest said that. Where's Ruby Quest?
She said just have your tiara on all the time.
No, I can't do that.
Yeah, I think it's a good story. After Make My Day, you should pull out a crown and put it on. That's Ruby Quest. That's a great idea.
Or that's not the last story I'm going to tell in the speech.
But when you walk off stage,
when I walk off,
crown on.
There's another time that I do that with the pashmina.
Yep.
I stop and say goodbye and I finish up. And the story about a magnetic personality has a new ending now because it's better. And I will take the brown poncho into a speech and put the brown poncho. What do you do when you're getting your guitar? Is it time for you to sing?
Linda Craig just said it was time for Patrick to sing.
So I'm getting my guitar.
We do what Linda tells us,
Well, Linda, I'm a little hurt. What time is this?
It's 10 till.
Till 1?
Yes.
Hey, could I mention something? Now, I didn't run this past you, but I was talking to somebody, one of my partners in the herbicide business, about the charcuterie show we did.
Yeah.
And he started laughing and said that a guy that we're sending a bunch of samples to has a dairy farm up in Kentucky. And they make the most amazing cheese, and their big customers are for restaurants making charcuterie boards.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention them. Can I mention them?
Yeah.
Okay. It's Kenny's Farmhouse Cheese, kennyscheese.com. They make amazing cheese apparently, and they've sent us some.
Where?
Up in Kentucky.
Wait a minute. Did you just say they sent us some?
It's on the way.
Oh, okay.
We're not getting paid for this. I'm just saying, I just wanted people to know about this.
No, we don't get any. We have
Kenny's,
no sponsors.
No, we have no sponsors, but I just wanted to mention Kenny's Farmhouse Cheese because we did that whole thing on charcuterie boards, and this would be a great place instead of
y'all, I can't believe this. I just can't believe it's 1 o'clock. I was going to say, Toni, on one of the things I told the story about your 50th anniversary party.
Right.
You had it at my house, and
Right.
I didn't know. And then you said, I want to have it next year too. Is that not August? That's next August?
A year from this August.
Well, I looked, and your anniversary is not on a Saturday or anything like that. So you got to plan when that date is and mark it off.
Well, we got a big,
And I wanted
we
to
got a
tell.
big day coming up in a few weeks.
Oh, yes. Somebody's turning 50.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Who is that?
What's 50?
Well, it's sure not Jeannie or me.
No.
Your career is older than I am.
We don't
Okay.
remember 50.
All right, get your song ready. Thanks, Linda Kim. Now, I wanted to tell Jane Tucker and the Cow Patty Bingo story. That's another one y'all are going to say, I don't know. And in the meantime, if you have ever been to Cow Patty Bingo, you're probably by now going, she's not going to talk about Cow Patty Bingo. Well, yeah, I plan to.
Okay.
You sing your song.
I think you've got time. You can tell that story
I got so
after
many
Patrick
more.
sings.
Yeah.
Sing it, Patrick.
All right. This is a song, one of my songs. I played it before, but I enjoy this song. Pour me a shot of courage, a twist of lime, and a little ice. Better make it a tall one. It's gonna be a long, hard drinking night. Ain't here for conversation. I'm walking that lonesome mile. I'll put down a few pick-me-ups and drink on it a while. Did she say I love you or I'm leaving you? I can't be sure. Confusion setting in. Bartender, won't you bring me one more? Flying high like an eagle till this wild turkey knocked me down and broke my style. It'll all make sense after I drink on it a while. Should I stay or should I go? My position's not quite clear. Few more laps round this bar stool and I'll know which way to steer. She left so many questions, now the answers swirl round the bottom of my glass. Bartender, another round. I'm going nowhere fast. Did she say I love you or I'm leaving you? I can't be sure. Confusion setting in. Bartender, won't you bring me one more? Flying high like an eagle till this wild turkey knocked me down and broke my style. It'll all make sense after I drink on it a while. Ooh, yeah, it'll all make sense after I drink on it a while.
Yay, Patrick.
Thank you.
Patrick,
Sounds like
I
I'm
think
going
that
through
song
puberty
is
again.
inappropriate.
Did you?
No,
Well, I
no,
apologize.
I
Cancel
did
me. Pull my
not.
statue down.
No, pull your statue down. All right, I got to do this fast.
Yeah,
I have Cow Patty Bingo is too long. Okay, my fault. I have no punchline for this story. I've had this story in my books at least 25 or 30 years. I keep working on it. I went to MC, Mistress of Ceremonies, a beauty pageant. Sorry, that's the way it is, in Western North Carolina. And in the pre-meeting, I said casually to the JCs who ran everything, I said, how many contestants do you have? To get to the Miss North Carolina, you had to win a local. You couldn't just enter the Miss North Carolina. Like the year I was there were 84, I think. And so all the little towns had these pageants. And the JCC said, well, we started to call you about it because it's a little bit interesting. It's different. And I said, what did you, because when I was in the Miss Graham pageant, we had, I think, 6, but that was a nice little, think of it as a talent show. And he said, we have 2 contestants. And I said, just 2? I'd never heard of them having. He said, but we have to have it. And the reason is they are both outstanding. And you can't, if you don't win, you can't go. So you got to have the pageant. And I said, you are kidding. How? She said, well, they're both in college. And back then, having them in college was a big deal, not just a senior in high school who you mature a little bit, of course, said, oh, yeah. And they competed against each other in high school for everything. Can't you get this scenario? Small town in Western North Carolina up in the mountains. And he said they both are super talented in what they do. And you can't have a pageant with just one, and we had to hold the pageant. And when the town came in and they poured in that night, he said, "Oh, we've sold every ticket you can do." So it was like a wedding. When they would come in, they'd say, "Are you a friend with contestant number 1? Or are you a friend of contestant number 2?" And they would seat people on sides. And it continued, and I would bring them out. They would be an evening gown competition. I'd say, "Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 1," and out she would come, contestant number 2. And let's bring all the contestants back out on stage for one final look. And they would come out, and we did that in swimsuit, which turned out to be physical fitness later. And now it is inappropriate. And so everything they did, so talent, when number 2 went first, and then number 1, they had it all worked out. So it was sort of even. And I'll tell you, either one of them was going to do well in the state pageant. It was at many local pageants, you would say they got a good winner. She's going to be great all year, going to every Rotary Club, Kiwanis Club, and doing everything. But she's probably not going to wind up at the Miss America pageant. But you did it because you gave people the experience. Well, as this pageant went on, a little quicker than others, I might add, it became apparent that if you were a judge, both of them very attractive, and being attractive in pageants, turns out there's no this blonde wins, this brunette wins. It's whatever you've got. How can you make yourself look sophisticated, whatever you want? So they were both attractive, and everything rolled around. And then the judges were supposed to leave and go away and select the winner. I thought they may not come back because we had gone through all of this, and they were looking, and they brought them out, and I asked a question to number 1, I asked a question to number 2, and so forth. And then the trouble started. I got a note from the JCs, and the JC said, "We have a problem. There is a tie for Miss Congeniality." I'm on stage smiling, and I said, "Oh," I looked at them behind counter. They're just going, "We don't know what to do." Well, the natural thing to think is they each voted for themselves, but that's not true. In the pageant system, you get a ballot, and it said, for me, for example, in Atlantic City, "I am Miss North Carolina," and that was typed in. "I am voting for," and if you voted for yourself, they threw out your ballot because there had been a time when everybody was voting for themselves. And so then I said, "Vote again." Well, it didn't matter. Every time they voted, it came back a tie. I can't help but believe somewhere in there they might have voted for themselves, and it was the same time the other one decided that she would vote for herself. So at that point, I have nothing. That is a true story. I've told it to friends, and I say, what's the punchline? I mean, do I make up that they got in a fight? That's absurd. And I've never seen anybody get in a fight. Did their parents get upset? Did one of them's daddy say to the other, "I got to think of something"? Maybe that's it. I never have thought that.
What was the name of the pageant?
Oh, I don't give you the name of the pageant.
Okay.
Because it's the town in Western North Carolina. And number 1, I want you to think of it as something that could have happened in your town. So I don't want to label it so fast. But it was for a preliminary for the Miss North Carolina pageant.
But they were tying for Miss Congeniality.
Yeah, well, that's what the contestants voted
Well, that's
on.
not that important, though.
Excuse
I'm
me.
kidding.
I put up with this all the time. That's not that important.
Whoever did anything after winning that.
I know.
I mean, it's just kind of.
It's the one that the others think has the least chance
That's
of winning
right.
the
They're
title.
not going to vote anybody that's
Nobody.
going to win everything.
Okay. Oh, they've got, now everybody's telling me they're cow patty bingo chip things. Flip a coin.
For Miss Congeniality.
I know, but
flip a cow patty.
why couldn't you have a tie? You're both supposed to be nice. They were taking it serious. And what do you have? They worried that the audience. No, they eventually got a winner. You can't send two young women, and they got a winner. And of course, half the people, because everybody's nice, said she was good. Oh, she deserved it. And they're thinking, I was for the other one. Who were you for? It didn't matter. I just thought it was classic small
I think
town.
you ought to say one of them said, being in true Miss Congeniality fashion, said, no, I think she should get it. And the other one said, I think you're right. Thank you.
There's a commercial on that has two little girls and they have Hershey's Kisses in front of them. And they say,
Oh, yeah.
take a Hershey's kisses if you're the tallest. And they grab for it. Maybe we should put them at a table and arm wrestle. What? Give it to both of them. Have a tie. But see, that's not funny. We're going for funny here. Funny, Patrick, you're on a roll today. Give Miss Congeniality to the loser. But see, it's got to be something that is the big clincher. It's like y'all gave me a great punchline. I think it was you, Patrick, with the dog that came up on stage. What was the town, Tony?
We don't
Dillon.
give the town.
Dillon, South Carolina.
That town she gave. Dillon.
I give that one because it doesn't involve human beings. And the dog came up on stage and sat down. And the punchline as they were leaving, I mean, the audience was mesmerized. He came in the back and he walked all the way down and went up on the stage and sat down next to me. I'm at the lectern emceeing. And then leaving, one man said, did you see that dog up there on stage? And the other one said, yeah, but I thought she was funny. So anyway, so I got to go back this. I like that commercial. I do too. Put their names on the smiling bucket and draw one out.
We probably need to give a few prizes real quick.
I know it. I got so excited about these stories. Okay. Permanent records, 2 contestant pageant. I did that one. Cow Patty Bingo. I'm going to read all your things and then I'll get that one next. Okay. Let's give out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to reach down in here and this is for the regular prize that you choose. I am so sorry. I just thought I was going to have to fill for the whole hour. Okay. Which I like. Jane Couch Boyer, Boyer, from Pennsylvania. You have won a prize of your choice, but not the audio book. Here we go in here. Okay. All right, Toni, listen. Spread the word by sharing your. What are you doing? Telling them all these things, Patrick? And this winner is Ann Stubbings. Okay. And she says what we have determined. A top fan is someone who writes often or likes often. But then they'll take you off. Patrick, you had a couple of people that you had mistakenly blocked.
Yeah, and I hope we've gotten that fixed. I'm not sure we have. It was Dorothy Rush. And
Dottie Rush.
Dottie Rush. I accidentally blocked her. And I've been talking to Facebook. I've been talking to StreamYard, which is the platform we go on, and just trying to get.
But we had a real good friend of ours in Burlington who got blocked, and she was in Toastmasters and a real
But so
and
I'm working on it, Dottie. We love you,
back.
And we're going to get you back on.
Melinda Powers loves somebody. I put the carpet story up, and I bet it won't come out. It's in the question bucket. But somebody said, do you think when you pass, Bowhead, of course, do you think when you pass that Beaver will have the carpets clean before he has the estate auction?
Hey, Ann Stubbings just commented. She says she's from Portugal. If we got to pay for postage to
That's
Portugal,
right.
it might just need to do a download, Ann.
No, we've already.
We've sent them all over the world.
Okay.
Ann Stubbings from Portugal.
Yes,
Let's take a bet. $45 to send the book.
No,
50?
she actually wants a hat, so it might not be quite.
Oh, not way as much. Tell us who you want us to sign the hat or not sign it off. Now that's 3 more. So now we want to give the no, y'all, I can't move my leg. It won't move at all. Get over and push this leg.
Okay, now you're giving the audio book.
I'm reaching for it. I'm like a slug. I'm trying. Oh, I had a good story because somebody said, what's the worst situation you and Left Brain have ever been in? I've got a good story for them. We'll get to them. Okay, this is it. There are 7 CDs in here, and I don't ever end a CD in the middle of a story so you can distribute among people and listen to them. And this is available on download, Patrick.
I've heard tell it is.
Patrick, I'm trying to plug it because you get a percentage.
Oh, I know. I've got it already up on the screen.
Oh, okay. So this, and if you, after you listen to it, share it with some people who need to laugh. All right, this is
and now that we're back in to traveling and going on road trips, if your car has a CD player in it, this is a great book to listen to on road trips. And if you download it, you can just plug your device into your car and listen to it also in your car. I know. Get your kids to help you out.
All right, here's the winner of this time. And she says, "Hi, Jeannie, would love to get your book. I'm from Rolette, Texas, Rowlett. And she should be excited because I don't think we've had anybody else. Janet Crosby, Crosby. Well, y'all, I guess I started Kathleen from Cumming, Georgia. That's where Beaver, run into Beaver someday. Look for him. He's a big guy. There's enough. We got to get off, I guess. I'm sorry that I talked so much in the beginning. Was I talking?
Yeah.
We weren't.
Oh, no. Somebody's disappointed in me.
I know. What?
Somebody's disappointed in me because I sang a song about drinking.
Well, they should be. I told you when you finish, they're going to get you for that.
You know, I'd write about what I see. And
I know.
I wrote that song 25 years ago. So
I know. Well, don't say that. Don't mark them off. They're probably
I'm
good
not
people.
marking them. They have the right to do it.
But we're just trying to find what song was going to hit for Patrick, and that one might.
Right.
You never know. Did somebody really write about it? I'm sorry,
It's
Patrick.
okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Well, since your mother's
It's my
not
mother.
here,
My mother's the one writing that.
No, I know she probably is. Hey, y'all, next Saturday, Tim Gard, right out here on the porch, yes, it's a real porch. There's no green screen here. It's in other places in the house. But, and I'll try to speed up because you have told me all week that you like it when we try to work on a story. So we didn't get anything for 2 contestants in that pageant in Western North Carolina,
We'll
did we?
work on it.
Well, I'll look through all the comments. You never know. Okay. Well, I've had a good time. I see y'all in Shipshewana. 2 weeks after that, I see you in Omaha. And Patrick's being paid. You're being paid.
Oh, I didn't realize that. But I'll tell you this: we are going to do some live streams from the road. So I'm going to have my phone out. So y'all just be ready to tune in because we're going to do some pop-ups from along the 10.5-hour drive to Shipshewana, Indiana. But I'm looking forward to it. I hadn't been there before.
I've been there 3 or 4 times and it's great. These people are great. A lot of Amish, but they come in for that flea market on buses. Motor coaches.
They're Amish. They're probably going 10.5 hours. Wow, that's so fast.
I know. Oh, stop it. That's it. Now somebody come and help me stand up. Bye.
She's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson. Oh, she's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson.